Just one day we'll just film an episode of me just dusting all my movies and records and toys.
And it'll be called Dusting with Joe.
Oh, I'll wear my Spider-Man apron, my cooking apron.
Yes.
And I'll just dust, and I'll be like, and this toy I purchased it.
And then you'll use a web shooter for your for cleaning.
Yeah.
Somehow you'll just, or you'll just, or no. you can even just like, or just shoot your web in a duster, and then just go.
Closer. Don't be shy.
Okay, there we go.
Welcome to the Fanatics of Film.
So yeah, what do you? I am dying to know what your, Joe, you're an aficionado of the Batman universe and the Batman Rogues Gallery. What do you think of the makeup on this? I thought of Ronald McDonald when I first saw it.
Definitely a twisted Ronald McDonald, but I gotta say I like his look and costume much better than Jared Leto. The hair's a bit Heath Ledger. I did think that this official teaser that Todd Phillips unveiled was pretty interesting because it's very Scorsese-esque. And Scorsese at one point was the producer. He stepped down. And Todd Phillips has taken a lot of inspiration. So
hopefully they're consulting him a little bit. What do you think?
No, he's gone.
Not even part of it. Not even part of it at all.
If he did any consulting, it was early on. So
okay.
Todd Phillips says that one of his inspirations, is Taxi Driver and Raging Bull. So a couple of his inspirations. And there was the Scorsese films. But I got to be honest with you, Todd Phillips he's not the person I would have picked to do this movie.
Right.
I mean, he's mostly known for, aside from a few documentaries on people like G.G. Allen and Fish, he's done more comedy, your Starsky and Hutch and Old School and The Hangover, and which was funny. They're funny, but
yeah, it's not. I'm not sure that I'm. Yeah,
we'll see. Maybe this is the film where he actually flexes some serious
drama muscles.
Yeah, some serious directing chops. Because those other films, I mean, they're funny. They've got good dialogue, but they are basically just dialogue-driven comedy movies, which are kind of a waste to me when I feel like the comedy is such a visual medium.
Well, and especially since when this thing was first announced, everybody went nuts because Scorsese was the one that was announced. I mean, they were saying Scorsese is producing. Yeah. People were speculating that Leo DiCaprio was going to do the Joker.
Well, he was actually in the running.
Okay,
so he was in consideration. Okay. I don't think he ever auditioned.
I wonder if they even asked him to.
No, but he was considered. I don't know. I don't know how this is going to work out.
I'm not a fan of the look. I'll be straight up with
I still think it's better than Jared Leto.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't have damaged tattoo here and stupid grill on his teeth.
Yeah.
With the
no, I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. I remember you and I we made fun of the damage tattoo big time when we first saw that. It was kind of ridiculous.
It's like, what was he an inmate at Blackgate? No, he's Arkham. They don't do tats at Arkham. That's baller prison stuff.
To me, it looks like they're just trying to do a hybrid of everything that's been done in the past. Like they're trying to do like a Jack Nicholson meets Christopher Nolan meets,
and it could be that way.
All these things.
I mean, again, it's very difficult to tell just from what is this, 20, 30 seconds. I mean, just the fact that they're actually borrowing from Alan Moore's Killing Joke, Alan Moore and Brian Boland's Killing Joke, by using that origin that he is a stand-up comedian who a failed stand-up comedian who goes psychopathic. That's interesting because it's never really been explored in the film except for the Killing Joke animated film, right?
Oh, okay.
But even then, even in the Killing Joke, the Joker says that that's not necessarily how his past is. Again, Christopher Nolan borrowed elements of that too and put that in The Dark Knight, where Joker told us 3 different origin stories in that film. So but they're actually going with that. That's definitive. He is the stand-up comedian guy who becomes the Joker. And yeah, I do think that the makeup is a little it's certainly more clownish than it's ever been.
Yeah, and apparently, and just this is something that, in case any of you are wondering, just curious about, the Nolan version of the Joker was made. The whole concept of the character was supposed to be like a Clockwork Orange. That's what it was supposed to be like. So, anyway.
And he just represented total anarchy.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's early days.
Yeah.
Again, Todd Phillips, not an auteur, so not somebody that I would be thinking of in terms, but you never know. He could actually surprise us and turn out a really good film. I just have to. I'm starting to actually. I read an article in Forbes just over the weekend about DC's decision and why they're making their films the way they are, and it actually puts something into perspective. They had focused so strongly on trying to duplicate what Marvel did by creating their shared universe, which is what happens in both comic book companies have been doing this for over 50 years, having a shared universe. It's just Marvel did it first in the films, and when the Man of Steel underperformed, it did well, but it underperformed enough that they scrapped the second one and went, hey, let's just make this be,
bring Batman in, because everybody will buy it.
Yeah. And Wonder Woman. But since the success of the Wonder Woman standalone movie, and probably with the Aquaman movie coming up, their focus isn't necessarily to connect the universe.
Yeah.
It's a shared universe, but it's not about building up stories that'll be big crossovers. And that might actually not be such a bad idea to start with until they really get a firm footing on what they're doing. Because the only real way that the Marvel films seeded themselves were in their post-credit sequences. Do you know what I mean? And it took 5 movies to get a movie that led there. But each of the first 5 movies could stand on their own. So, I don't know. It could be a good thing. Give them a chance to breathe before they start thinking about making them big event crossovers. And I didn't think about it that way. It was like, no, I want them to do what Marvel's doing. Do it now.
Want the continuity.
I want the continuity in the whole universe. But, if they are going to world build, there's no rush to it. They can take 10 years to build a whole universe.
And since you mentioned those things, especially, we were talking the other day just briefly about this, but I mean, when it comes down to it, if DC can keep making, I think this is going to be a rated R movie. Is it?
I think it is. I think it's going to be rated R.
I mean,
most of his films are rated R.
Not one of the Marvel movies, at least the current Marvel movies, are rated R. So
not in the cinematic universe, but in the X-Men universe. Yeah.
Right. No, that's what I mean. Like, as far, forgive me, for the Disney Marvel, they're not going. They're not taking those chances. So, for whatever that's worth, I mean, being able to see, having a Joker movie be PG or PG-13, no thanks. I mean, I
really do. Yeah, no, and I mean, there's a good chance it could be PG-13, but I'd hope they would go for an R rating because there's no Batman in this. There is Jonathan or
there is no Batman at all.
No, but there is. Why can't I think of Bruce's dad? I keep wanting to say Jonathan Kent, but no, it's
Jonathan Wayne. Just kidding.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Why did you say that name? No. Thomas Wayne is in this movie.
Okay.
And so that's going to be interesting to see how this all connects, but there's no Batman. So if you're going to do a standalone Joker film that's kind of an origin story that may or may not be a part of the continuity of the cinematic universe, fine, make it an R-rated movie. At least make it an R-rated movie.
Yeah.
Make it a good, gritty crime R-rated movie about a guy who becomes a psychopathic killer. Like, really, I think taking inspiration from Taxi Driver is perfect. If you've seen Taxi Driver, it's the perfect
one of the
example
best films of all time.
Of big city grimness. So
one of the best movies of all time, for sure.
But we'll I'll keep following this because I am intrigued. This intrigued me because I thought this felt like something Scorsese would have thrown together.
Yeah.
It really has that feel, and I just hope that the movie can capture that. Otherwise, it'll be a big disappointment, and there'll be a lot of hatred, and it'll probably be another step back for DC, and they need to get their foot forward. Their animated films, and we've said this before, their animated films and their television shows, for the most part,
are stellar.
Are killing it.
Are stellar. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Anyway, let us know what you guys think in the comments there. I just recently saw Gangs of New York, so in case anybody wants to get your Scorsese fix, watch that or The Departed, both great flicks that are more recent. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. If you guys, I would love to hear any of your comments on this. What do you think of this I'm not a fan of the makeup. I get it. I mean, we're just trying to go,
it's weird.
alter full clown.
Yeah.
Not complete and total full clown.
Of course, maybe that won't be the way he looks the whole movie.
Hopefully not. Hopefully
I don't know.
Maybe not.
So I want to see him get the, But also another good Scorsese movie, if you haven't seen the last few years, Silence, with Liam Neeson, Adam Driver, and Andrew
I still haven't
Garfield.
seen that yet. I heard it was
it's a sharp film.
Okay.
It's a good piece of film.
Anyway, thanks so much for joining us. You've been watching The Fanatics of Film, and my name is Ben.
I'm Joe.
Have a splendid day.